Hey everybody, this is Zaynor Kamatazi. I am currently on my Sorcerer, and I will be going over the lightning spec. How there are most cases I'd be going over things to note from the discipline path, but be completely honest. This spec for rotation is actually extremely simplified. I still recommend that you guys read over everything from the discipline path to see the changes and be able to find things for your own rotation and your own playstyle. However, I will be going over my utility points, and still recommend that you guys read over and spec accordingly to your playstyle. Of course, I will be going over the basic rotation. It is very simplified as long as you remember what you're doing and be able to keep up with the pace. I will let you guys know that the rotation is more PvE based, especially for operations. So those who are PvP, I still recommend finding what works perfectly well for you guys. For my utility points, under Skillful, I do use Sith Defiance, which increases damage reduction by 3%. I use Tempest Mastery, which increases the damage dealt by your Force Storm by 25%. Under Masterful, I use Lightning Barrier, where Static Barrier crackles with electricity, shocking attackers for 54-34 energy damage when it absorbs direct damage to you. This effect does not affect static barriers placed on allies and cannot occur more than once every second. I also use Torturous Tactics, which lowers the cooldown of Electrocute by 10 seconds, and in addition, targets stunned by your Electrocute deal 25% less damage for 10 seconds when Electrocute wears off. Under Heroic, I use Shapeless Spirit, which reduces all damage taken while stunned by 30%. And in addition, reduces damage taken from area effects by 30 seconds. I also use Haunted Dreams, where your whirlwind breaks early from damage, and the target will be stunned for 2 seconds after receiving damage. In addition, whirlwind activates instantly. It's essentially another stun. I use Electric Bindings, where Overload will bind its target in electricity, immobilizing them for 5 seconds. Direct damage dealt after 2 seconds, and the effect prematurely. That works fantastic with Haunted Dreams, by the way. But using Overload will knock the opponent back, and then be able to use Whirlwind immediately after. We'll keep them in place for a couple seconds. Force Mobility is what I use for Legendary, where Thundering Blast, Innervate, and Force Leech will be able to be used while moving. A couple good substitutions would include Dark Speed, or was it Dark Speed? Yeah, Dark Heal increases move speed by up the target by 50% for 6 seconds. Effect cannot occur more than once every 12 seconds. Under Masterful, Corrupted Flesh should be a good substitute, where it reduces damage taken from all periodic effects by 15%. Under Legendary, Corrupted Barrier, where your Static Barrier, Force Barrier, and Enduring Bastion will heal you for 1% of your total health every second for as long as they last. Healing scales up to 4% when you have charges for Enduring Bastion. Like I mentioned, I would normally be saying things to note from Discipline Path. However, I will not be doing that this video. So for the rotation, I'd be starting off with Affliction, followed by Lightning Flash, followed by Crushing Darkness, followed by Thundering Blast, and then Chain Lightning as will be procced, followed by Force Storm. Then I'd be using Force Speed, which will then I'll be using Lightning Bolts for 2 to 3 times, which will cause the Chain Lightning to proc again, and then followed by Force Storm again. It is odd, I will admit, but here is a visual for you guys. So starting off with Affliction, followed by Lightning Flash, Crushing Darkness, Thundering Blast, proccing Chain Lightning. Then we will be using Force Storm, followed by Force Speed to proc Lightning Bolts to be able to be used a couple times, Chain Lightning, and then Force Storm. And then which you could repeat if over and over, you'll be able to repeat over and over again, especially if you have your timing down for it. As a substitution, if you're wanting to wait for a couple things to cool down, you still have the Force, Lightning, and Shock as well. Oops. Which you're able to use instead of the Force Speed while you wait for the cooldowns to be finished off. That would be a secondary rotation that you could use instead of using the Force Speed, followed by a couple of the Lightning Bolts. Like I mentioned, very simplified. You have 2 different rotations to go off of, just a couple ability difference. So there's the basic rotation for you guys as a Lightning Sorc. Some player tips for you guys. Pressing Y to bring up Legacy. I am currently under Character Perks. And then under Advancement, I recommend placing in as you would prefer for your play, whether it be War Zones to level up, Flashpoints for leveling up, class missions, which works perfect hand in hand with your exploration. Under Travel, I highly recommend that for those who are going through their class storyline to get the personal starship for priority transport. The reason being is, let's say you are in the middle of nowhere on a planet and you're just finished your heroic missions and your storyline is telling you that you need to go to your starship to continue on the storyline. Instead of having to go to the nearest flight path and fly to the spaceport via speeder, you could just click on your personal starship icon and go straight to your starship. For other priority transports, I do recommend getting side planets, such as the CZ-198 and the Black Hole, in case you want to do the heroic missions on those side planets, or if you like going to the flashpoints in person, you could click on it to go to those as well. Um, they're fantastic if you're not sure where to look on the galactic map for these side planets, or you just constantly keep forgetting on where they're at. This makes it a whole lot easier. Under convenience, I recommend getting the field respec, but that way you're able to respec just about anywhere at any time, instead of having to go to your fleet and do a respec there. Comes in handy in case you are playing the Lightning Spec Sorc and your healer drops group. You're able to respec right there, become the healer, so your group can continue. I also recommend that you get the field repair droid. That way you are able to repair and sell anywhere. Also comes in handy in the middle of operations after a rough boss. However, the rest of convenience, I do recommend getting them at some point. They do all come in handy in one area or another. Under companion, I recommend that you max out legacy promptness. That way you have a reduced time taken to give gifts to your companion. With it maxed out, you'll go from a 3-second time between giving gifts, and it will reduce the time taken to give those gifts down to roughly 1.6 seconds. I also recommend, that goes hand in hand, to maxing out the legacy of altruism, which increases the amount of companion influence gained from those companion gifts by a total about 30%. Under global unlocks and other, I've been saying this in all my videos, I recommend that you have at least one character maxed out for the light attunement. That way you get the unity ability. The unity ability requires your companion to be out with you. However, when you use it, you take 50% less damage for 15 seconds. It comes in very useful. Under convenience, I recommend you max out the Legacy Fleet Pass. That way your Fleet Pass will have no cooldown. I recommend you max out the Legacy of Travel, so your quick travel will have no cooldown. And if you have the personal starship transport with the improved priority transport maxed out, that too has no cooldown. That way you're able to pour around all day for whatever reason. I also recommend that you get the tactical markers. That way if you're leading the operation or the flashpoint, you're able to mark where you want each role to be at. That way the boss fight will go a lot smoother, at least hopefully. I also recommend you get improved mounting. I find this rather fun and very useful. That way you don't have to stop, mount, and then move again. Instead, you'll be able to mount while moving. Ship unlock, you do not have to have anything in here as everything is available to you on the fleet. However, if you're like me and you like to be in private while being able to work on the training dummies, I would recommend the Operation and Warzone Training Dummy. That way you're able to attack the training dummy in peace and privacy on your starship, like I am on my video here. That's all I have for you guys today. Welcome to playing the Lightning Sorc, which is very easy to learn and play. And I wish you guys the best of luck.